Hey, welcome back, Rankers. How are you going? There is a lot happening this week in the world of generative AI and digital marketing more broadly. So, news this week, we've got news out of XAI with Grok 3. We've got news out of Anthropic, three announcements from them this week. We've got news out of OpenAI and some new products that they're rolling out to Australian users. And there's another one that's happened, which I can't remember, but we'll get to it, I'm sure. But before I get to all that news and how it's going to affect business and yourselves, if this is the sort of stuff that you find overwhelming, because I was talking to someone yesterday who did and said, how do you keep up with all of these things? Fear not, because on the 10th of April, you guessed it, we're having another webinar. That's right. It's going to take a lot of that stress away from you, because I'm going to be sharing our tips, tricks, workflows, tools that we've built using AI, that help us in our daily work and life. You'll be able to get a lot of information and get your head right about which model you might want to use for a particular project, because there are so many different models now, and how to apply them, how to prompt. It seems like such a something's been covered ad infinitum, but there are some simple things that you can do that, and if you watch David Mim and Scott last week on the show, he was talking about it as well. But there are some really simple techniques. You can just take that to the next level. And one of those is getting the models to generate the prompts themselves for you. Anyway, we'll go into all of that on the 10th of April. So keep it free. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for the details. And I will be updating this show, not this particular recording, but the subsequent ones with the links and also the time of day on the 10th of April. But make sure you keep it free. The news this week from Grok. So Grok is the large language model out of XAI. XAI, of course, is the Elon Musk company. And I've been using Grok for quite a while. Grok has always been very good because it has access to the latest data. It has access to all of Twitter's historical data, plus all of X.com's recent data. So it's got real-time feeds from movers and shakers. It also has internet access. So for me now, and with this new model, Grok 3, it is quite extraordinary. Up and when it was released, 72 hours ago, or whatever it was the top model, bar none. It was the best at coding, best at everything. Things have changed though since then, so we'll get into that. But it also has a couple of other features. It will do reasoning, so the thinking that the O3 and the O1 models do out of ChatGPT, and what DeepSeek catapulted DeepSeek into the limelight. It also has that reasoning, that thinking time, that inference time, or that extra time at inference to actually take some time to understand what the problem's about and what the output should be. Excuse me while I feed my magpies. The other thing that Grok does is it has a deep research tool. Now, as it happens, ChatGPT also released their deep research tool to Plus users this week. And so I just finished using Grok's deep search tool, and then I went and used the ChatGPT one. And ChatGPT one is next level. It is much better than the Grok output. Nothing wrong with the Grok output. It was accurate. It was good. It was useful. But these magpies are really noisy. Sorry. But it was just not as much information as the ChatGPT deep research. And the deep research tool went into a lot more information. So in the webinar, I'll be showing you how you can use these tools, these deep research tools, whichever one you want to use, to get better at your own data, to understand your own data better, to make better informed decisions based on the data. And because that's what we're using these tools for. So last year, and I think even probably in 2023, I was using a tool called GPT Researcher, which is essentially this. It's essentially what OpenAI's deep research tool is, and everything else. Because these tools are agents, okay? So what is an agent? An agent is basically, let's just call it an app that has a large language model built into it. That can be the brain, if you like. And then it has access to tools. And those tools could be things like search, they could be things like document creation, they could be all sorts of things, right? So, and that's what these do. So GPT Research, what I was using last year, was an agentic system that did that. It had a publisher, it had a researcher, and these are all little agents built into the tool. And that's what deep research is as well. So, except it's got much better models built around it. And so the output is a lot better and quite extensive. It's quite extraordinary, actually. So the other thing that's happening with ChatGPT this week, or OpenAI more generally, is that they are releasing 4.5. Now, 4.5 is a model that does the reasoning and does the image creation. It's basically everything in the one model. At the moment, if you're using ChatGPT, you will be used to, you've got GPT-4o, I don't even know if 4 still exists, but you've got GPT-4o, you've got O3, O1. I'm not too sure if there's any other models there in the Plus, a couple of O3 models, but in the Pro version, you've got more models again. The 4.5 is bringing the reasoning and the image generation and all of that into one model. And apparently it's quite amazing. Again, another step up from where we're at the moment. But it's really taken everything's gone to the next level this year. It really has. And I think a large part of that that's pushed it along has certainly been the release of DeepSeek, the Chinese model, because we know how easy and cheap these things are to create now. So we're using these tools a lot. We're using all the models. The thing to remember with deep research and those sorts of research tools, you can go and do GPT Researcher. That's free if you're willing to learn how to get it working. The Grok AI is, I think it's only about $8 US a month, and you get access to those tools. Whereas obviously Plus, I think it's 20 US or 25 US a month. It's 20 or 25, can't remember. So, if you just want to have a dabble, you might want to look at Grok first before you jump into, say, a full-blown ChatGPT. The other piece of news that happened this week was Anthropic Claude. So I was about to cancel my Claude subscription, but then they went and released a new model as well. And not only did they release a new model, they took the crown from Grok, which had it for only a short, probably 72 hours before they got gazumped. And the good thing about the Claude has always been my go-to model for writing, for coding. It's just been better at everything. As good as the ChatGPT models are, it has been incredible. The model they've just released is incredible again, to the next level. So I haven't even had a chance to play with it much yet, but what I've seen so far, it's been able to do some things in the things that I'm building with code that both ChatGPT, that ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok couldn't do. Claude, the new version, has actually achieved. So that's a good sign for me. They've also got that reasoning built in as well, like all the others have. But the other thing that they've got, which is new, which I haven't tried, I've only sort of played with, is a coding tool. Basically, is the only way I can explain it. So it's an agentic coding tool, which, once again, think of an agent as having access to all these different tools, and it has the ability, an agent essentially typically will have the ability to make decisions on its own without extra input. And it's basically a coding tool that you can use to build things. So I'm using at the moment a program called Windsurf. I'm not going to get into that this week. We will get into it in the webinar though. And that's been my main coding tool, which is also an agentic system. So Claude's released their own. Of course, you can only use their models with it. With Windsurf and these other tools, you can use a whole variety of models. But quite extraordinary in how fast things are moving. I got asked yesterday about this. How do you keep up? Are you overwhelmed? Well, I read a lot. I spend most of my time on X because that's where all a lot of the AI news is breaking. One of our other team members, Nick, he spends most of his time on Reddit, and that's where he gets his AI news from. So there's a variety of sources where you can get your AI news from. And the thing to remember, because as these models keep coming out, you keep going, oh my God, how smart are they going to get? Just remember that the old adage that agency is more important than intelligence, right? There's plenty of broke PhDs out there, right? So as smart as these tools get, it's about your ability to actually use them and implement them and make them do things. So it's a bit like the analogy of the tool as well with the hammer. We've all got the same hammer, okay? So how you choose to use it is entirely up to you. And hopefully the webinar on the 10th of April, mark it in your calendars, will go a long way to helping you understand that. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments in the meantime or any questions about the webinar, please, wherever you see this video, just comment. I'm checking Facebook, I'm checking LinkedIn, on X, and obviously YouTube. That's where we've been the longest out of all the platforms. And YouTube, this is our 20th year on YouTube. Wonder if I get something for that. I don't think I will. But anyway, so thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.